Welcome to the Doug Karns program here on All Noise Radio.
That it is. This is the Doug Karns program here on All Noise Radio. 267-495-4866 is our voicemail line. You can leave us a voicemail anytime you want. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you want to pick a bone to me, go ahead. Just leave a voicemail, and I'll listen to it and get back to you. And if it's even good enough, I'll play it on the air. You can also reach us at dougkarnsprogram@gmail.com if you want to email us. Same thing. If you have a problem with me, have a question, have an answer, have anything to say to me, just email me and I'll get right back to you. Or you can also reach us at facebook.com/DK program. On Facebook. You find us, just hit the like button and you can get all the news updates from the Doug Karns program. All right. So it's been a while since I last talked to you, and there's a lot going on. First off, I'm just going to go off on a rant here. I saw a news story last night on Fox 29, a local show in Philadelphia, and they did a whole special about gas prices and how people were upset that they're not going to be able to drive enough. Like, this is why you've listened to me say time and time again, you have to pay attention. The news and the media and yourself, you're just going to blame the big oil companies, which it's not their fault. They don't want gas prices to go up. They know you'll be buying less oil if gas prices go up. So whose problem is this, or who's causing this? It's the Middle East. And if you're paying any kind of attention to the Middle East right now, things are not good. I mean, you have Libya that's on fire, Syria that's on fire, Tunisia that's on fire, Egypt that's on fire. These are all rebel states becoming under control of Islamic law that they hate the United States. So what do you think they're going to try to do? They hate us so much, they're going to try to disrupt our oil supply so badly that it's going to cripple us. I mean, think about how you get your food today. I just heard somebody say a couple weeks ago that we are now into the second generation of the 7-Eleven generations, which means, 60 years ago, people knew how to farm, how to grow their own food, how to skin a deer, dress a deer, and cook it. We don't know. My generation does not know how to do that, and I'm pretty sure the generation before mine doesn't know how to do that either. We're all dependent on grocery stores, and it's whatever they provide. That's what we eat. Now, what happens if that gets disrupted? What happens? There will be a run on the grocery stores, and there will be no food or water left for anybody. And what do we do then? Nobody knows how to cook their own, or hunt for their own food, or grow their own food, can their own food. Nobody knows how to do that. We're all dependent on the grocery stores. But how do you think that food gets there? Because of oil. Gasoline, diesel, in trucks gets the food to the stores. And if it costs too much, it's going to start raising the prices of food. And imagine if we don't have oil anymore. Those trucks aren't running. And you know what else is created by oil? Is plastic. What do you think is holding most of the food in those grocery stores? Plastic. That's made by oil. If we don't have oil, we don't have plastic to hold our food in to keep it fresh. What happens then? What do we do? It's a problem that we're facing, and it's getting closer and closer and closer, and we're not doing anything about it. Our government is just sitting there lying to us. They're not trying to get us energy independent on oil. So if something bad happens in the Middle East, we don't have to worry about it. We are sitting here beholden to the Middle East for their oil. And Saudi Arabia just came out this past weekend and said they're cutting production on oil. What do you think happened to the price when they said that? It skyrocketed. It jumped up $8 this past week, which means $4 a gallon for your gasoline is coming in the next couple of weeks once that price catches up. And then what do you think happens if Israel strikes Iran? Everything's destabilized over there, and it's going to get even worse because Iran just cut off the UK and France of their oil exports. That put a tightening on the oil supply. Every little thing matters. This is why we need to get energy independent. And for all you people who don't understand, I used to be one of you. I used to think it was the big oil companies just trying to rape us rape us of our cash so they could just go swimming in it like Scrooge McDuck, whatever his name is from DuckTales. That's not how it's happening. No. They buy the oil from the Middle East and they resell it to us. They refine it and sell it to us. They have nothing to do with the price. They make a 6% profit margin on oil. That's it. Apple makes 44% profit margin on their devices. So who's more evil? Is it the oil companies or is it Apple? I don't think either is evil. I think they're doing what capitalism says they can do. Charge their own prices and people buy it. So don't give me this crap on TV, in the news, that the oil companies are driving up prices. That is not what's happening. Whatever happened to honest questioning? Honest questioning. I find it that there's no reason that anybody should get upset or find it offensive if somebody asks a honest question. For example, we'll talk about this in a second, but I don't know if you heard about the story from ESPN, the writer from ESPN, I forget his name, we'll talk about him in a second, but he had a headline for, oh gosh, what's the basketball guy's name? Lin. Anyways, he's Asian. His last name is Lin. And he wrote, honestly, as a headline, chink in the armor. And he wasn't talking about Lin at all, about his race. He was talking about the team, that there's a chink in the armor. Now, when I say chink in the armor, I'm pretty sure you're intelligent enough listening to this show that a chink in the armor is a standard pun that people use, saying, hey, the armor, it's not perfect. There's something there that's causing the integrity of something to collapse or whatever. That's what we mean by chink in the armor. This guy says he honestly meant it that way. And why can't we take him for his word? I don't believe he meant to put chink in the headline because the guy's Asian. Like, what happened to honesty? It's really not that hard. Honest questioning. Or how about this other story about in the UK? Where was it? World school tells mom to declare son racist after he asks classmate, "Are you brown because you come from Africa?" The kid is in first grade. He asked his classmate if he was brown or is he brown because he's from Africa. Now he's about 7 years old. I don't think a 7-year-old is racist. I don't think it one bit. I think it was an honest question. He's 7 years old. He's just wondering. He's curious. And this school is trying to hold the mom responsible for this kid's question. Now, if this was a 26-year-old like me, and I'm asking, somebody I know saying, hey, are you brown because you're from Africa? Well, obviously I know they're African American. That would be dishonest of me. I would consider that racist. But this kid is honestly asking the question. And this is where we've come to in this country, that there's a difference between dishonest and honest. So if you question honestly, it's not racist. I mean, I just heard on Mike Missinelli in Philadelphia. I was just listening to his radio show the other day, and he was driving me bonkers. Bonkers. He was having an argument with a caller about Christmas and how it's offensive to other religions because Christmas is so big in this country. It's so massive that other people feel left out. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if you feel left out. Christmas is Christmas. He was saying that Christmas Village should be called Holiday Village. Why are you taking Christmas away from us Christians? Are we taking Hanukkah away from Jews? Are we going to call that just holiday, not Hanukkah? Well, his defense is, it's not that big, so they're not as offensive, or they don't feel offended because, or nobody can be offended of a Jew because their religion is not as big as Christianity. It doesn't matter. I stand up for Jews having the right to celebrate Hanukkah. I stand up for Christians having the right to celebrate Christmas. I stand up for the right for Muslims to celebrate Ramadan. I stand up for the right. That's what they practice. That's what they believe in. I stand up. As long as it's a safe holiday, nobody's getting hurt, I stand up for it and I support you. But don't you dare take Christmas away from Christians. It's not fair. And I don't care if somebody's offended. If you're offended, that means you don't believe in your religion enough to be proud of it. You think it's inferior to somebody else's religion. Grow up. Support the religion you're in, believe in it, and have faith in it. Don't tear down somebody else's religion just because you feel offended. Like kids can't enjoy a Christmas party in school anymore because one Jewish kid might get offended. If I was that Jewish kid, I would be like, okay, it's Christmas. I'm going to enjoy this party. I get a free afternoon with cookies and cake and whatever. I'm not going to argue about it. So I just now and Mike Missinelli would say, well, you're not in that kid's shoes. Well, you know what? That's life sometimes. We baby people so much that PC is killing this country. It's killing it. Just like the chink in the armor. This guy gets fired from ESPN from an honest mistake. And honest, I don't even think it was a mistake. But if you want to call it a mistake, it was an honest mistake. He didn't mean it the way it was portrayed. This is getting ridiculous. Political correctness is killing this country and the First Amendment. I think, listen, if you have an honest question, and it might have to do with somebody's race, as long as it's honest, I think you're allowed to say it. But a lot of us have common sense. A lot of us know the past. We don't ask questions that, if we're asking a question like, why are you black? Okay, well, that's a little dishonest question. Why? We know that you've come from Africa. That's where prominent black people come from. I don't think that's racist. Prominent white people come from Europe. That's just our origin. Is there anything wrong with that? It's all about honest questioning. And just we don't see that much. We don't see it in the news at all. You don't see any kind of honesty anymore. And it's getting pretty ridiculous. I mean, the Obamas are out, enjoying their vacations like one every month. And then they come back and try to feel sympathetic for the middle class and the poor class. I'm sorry, get out of here with that garbage. You're on fancy vacations that cost taxpayers tons and tons of money for security. For every trip that the president has to take, it takes 2 Air Force Ones because they need a decoy and they need the real one. And if they have 2 there, if one fails, they have another one for the president to get on to get out of wherever he is. That is costing the taxpayers tons and tons of money. And then you come back and act sympathetic. Be honest. I'm tired of this dishonesty. From George Bush, from Barack Obama, whoever. This country really needs to wake up. And it all comes back to these gas prices. Wake up, people. Pay attention. Find out why gas prices are jumping up so high. Then maybe we have enough of us, we can do something about it. All right, we'll be right back after this.